So you want to build a house. Welcome to the podcast, So You Want to Build a House, sponsored by Aurora Homes. I'm Scott Daly.
I'm Keith Strom.
And today is episode 30.
Great year.
Great year. Do you remember being 30, Keith?
Yep, I sure do. It was last year.
It was Nobody likes him. You know.
I'm old to some people, though.
That's right. Do you remember? I remember like when I was like 19, like 30 was like,
yeah, dinosaur.
You're dead.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like if I haven't gotten everything fun done in my life by 30, it's not happening.
I mean, if you're 30, like what even is the point of your life? I mean, really.
That's it.
like
the clock has run out.
Yeah.
And it's
It's over.
It's like you did what you could do. You know, it was like you're at Funland down at the beach and you're doing that basketball thing and the clock's at 0 and that's your score.
Yep.
You know, you either won or you didn't. But at 30, it's at 0. It's really 0 because it's over.
Yep.
Over. Gosh,
right.
How about that? And then yet, I've managed a few years past 30.
Yeah, you've done well.
That's
well
right.
so far.
Still kicking it at 30 plus more than I'd like to admit. Yeah, anyway.
At 30, at 32, you are.
Right, ish. 30 and change.
Yeah, 32 and change. That's good.
That's right. A lot of change. Hi, this is Scott Daly at Aurora Homes. Do you know the one greatest regret that people that build a new home have when they move in? Believe it or not, it's that they didn't get all of the features that they wanted. And so one of the big problems that you have with some of the large production builders is the speed at which they're going to move you through the process of making selections on a new home. At Aurora Homes, we're going to draw your plans from scratch. We're going to get to know you in the process, and we're going to walk you through so that you get the home that best suits your life. At Aurora Homes, our semi-custom production system will allow you to get the better home. We're here. We're available. We'd love to talk to you about your new project. You can reach out to us at yourfuturewillthankyou.com or give us a call at 302-381-8881. Now back to the podcast. Oh my gosh. So episode 30, and again, we joked last episode about how long it's taken us to get to episode 30. We promise that episode 60 will come faster because this is just a great time. And so today we're going to actually talk through one of our newer floor plans, maybe our newest, although that's a hard thing to say at Aurora Homes. And that is the Hunter Plan. The Hunter Plan, we released the Hunter Plan in early mid-2024. We've got one that's under construction, and we've got another one to build. It is, again, one of our lovely newer floor plans. And it's hard to say exactly like a newer floor plan because what we constantly do is we tweak our floor plans. We drive our draftsperson crazy. We have an in-house draftsperson that Keith and I have known for a pretty long time. I've actually known her a little longer.
You have.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she looks a lot like my daughter to me, but to Keith, she looks like his wife. Same person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not twins.
No.
Wait,
No.
but then, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, that would get weird. I'm pretty sure growing up there was only one of her in the house. She has 2 little brothers.
Just one.
Just one. Just one. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we designed this Hunter, and we actually worked on this thing all through 2023, just trying to get it right, get it engineered, sent it over to some structural engineers to make sure that the design was going to be sturdy and economical, and then we slapped it on the website, and it's gotten a pretty good review. But we do have some design principles, and I think what you'd find is that those design principles sort of drive all of our plans. And ultimately, I think we are really trying to create 3 things. It's the 3 C's in our designs, and that is connection, community, and comfort. And the reason why those things matter, I hopefully don't have to convince you that being comfortable matters.
Yeah, for you who own the house and everyone who visits your house, which actually is sort of dependent, right? Because your comfortability is dependent on the people you have in your house's comfortability. Right.
And it's funny you bring that up because I remember as a kid, I grew up And most of my family, my parents, when they got married, they lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But I grew up out just outside of Washington, D.C. And so when family came, they by and large came from out of town. They came from Western Pennsylvania, kind of scattered all in and around Pittsburgh. I say Pittsburgh is kind of a catch-all, which is close enough because most people that aren't from around near that area don't know where Pittsburgh is. So Western Pennsylvania, not quite Ohio, but definitely not Philadelphia. And they would come and visit. And I just remember the worst part about them coming to visit. I was the youngest. I had to give up my room, right? We didn't have a guest room. We weren't super wealthy people. And so, if my dad was the oldest of 6, and if so, some of his siblings who, married and kids by the time I can remember, most of them were. And I had to leave my room, and there was always Aunt Sarah, man. I didn't want Aunt Sarah to take my room because Aunt Sarah smoked.
Oh, man.
And, again, this is an era when a lot of people smoked. This is an era when you could smoke in buildings, and, restaurants they probably had, I don't remember restaurants not having
like smoke zones or
whatever. There's a smoking section, but I guess not too much further back in history, there wasn't even that. You were just allowed to smoke in the entire restaurant. But I don't remember that as a kid. I remember you'd walk in, you'd say table for 4, and they'd say smoking or non-smoking. And my parents didn't smoke by the time I'm old enough to remember, although they both said they did when they were younger. But, man, Aunt Sarah, she was so much fun, but she was a chimney. And so she'd leave. I'd get my room back, and the smell.
That's horrible, man.
It was not
That's horrible.
fun. But it's just, I didn't know any other way, but the issue was if enough people came down, there were multiple kids losing rooms for the guests. And so then none of us wanted Aunt Sarah, but I was the youngest. Aunt Sarah's always in my room.
So the hunter comes stock and standard with a room we call the Aunt Sarah room. There's bedroom 1.
Don't smoke in it.
Aunt Sarah, and then there's bedroom 3.
Right. We're not going to talk about Aunt Sarah's emphysema as she got older. Okay. We're just not. We're going to talk about how much fun she was at parties, which was a lot of fun, and how her 2 kids, my cousins, a lot of fun. God rest Sarah. She moved on, but I miss her dearly. She was a good time. So
good stuff.
That's kind of how some of design went, a long time ago, at least 32 years, because I'm at least 32. And so the things that we're looking to create in our design principles are connection, community, and comfort. And so one of the things that we actually think about connection at the beach, it's a pretty unique market, and that is most people when they're building new homes or they're going to come down here and buy a new home, they're thinking about guests right out of the gate. And it's important because we have a lot of folks that are moving down here, and sometimes they're retiring or they're kind of pre-retiring, like they're buying a second home and they're still working back towards a larger city, and they want to come down and maybe they want to buy that second home that is ultimately going to be their retirement home. But right out of the gate, they're thinking, I have relatives, and it's usually a generation up and a generation down. I've got children who may be adult children or close to being adult children, and I know that I want them to come and visit because I want that connection. I know that I have parents, and my parents are aging, and they are going to want to come visit, and ultimately they might not leave. They might stay, and everyone has sort of got that in their minds. If you're in that certain age where you have aging parents and you have adult children, and you're starting to think about a generation up and a generation down, and you've got that on your mind, and you want connection. So one of the things that we have built into the Hunter and to all of our plans as we design them is it allows guests to be comfortable. And these are in-suite bedrooms. Do you want to really break down what that means? Is it en-suite or is it in-suite?
Yeah, I say en-suite, but I don't think it either way. Either way, it's en suite.
Right. If you grew up like Keith, a little bougie.
Yeah, just the en-suite, right? En-suite is basically just means there's a bathroom right off of the bedroom corridors. So it's like you have your bedroom, you have bathroom. It's full bathroom, complete with tub or shower, toilet, and sink. And that gives your guests or your kid or your mom or your dad a comfortable space to stay because they have their own bathroom.
Right, and it's private, right? They don't have to share that bathroom with anybody.
No, it's to get to the bathroom, you have to go through the bedroom. So
Right.
it's isolated to the ensuite.
Right, and so we've done some research, and we understand in the home process that people that are comfortable will stay longer. And so that's when, people say, well, how does an ensuite, did I say that right?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, ensuite bedroom, how does that create connection in your life? And what that does is you're saying is, look, I'm going to build a new home. I'm going to have a floor plan that allows the people that I really care about in my life to come and visit me so that I can spend time with them and they can be comfortable, which means they might come and spend more time with me.
Right.
And that's huge.
Which deepens the connection you have with your loved ones.
Right. It makes the connection, right?
Mhm.
It's those times together that make everything. And so that's when we talk about connection, that is really one of our main design principles in all of our homes. And so that is a great thing. And the Hunter specifically actually has 2 ensuite bedrooms on the main floor. Now, one of them is the primary, which is pretty large and spacious. The Hunter's about 2,800 square feet in its base form. It can grow to close to 5,000 square feet if you take all the options. But it has a completely separate ensuite on the main floor. And that can be for guests, but it also could be, for an aging parent that doesn't want to navigate stairs.
Right.
They are able to stay on the first floor, stay in a room that is comfortable for them, and enjoy a quality of life. That's really what these designs are all about, is how to foster a better quality of life.
Right.
So
that's what we're all about.
That's what we're all about. And so the other thing that the next C that we really look to create in the Hunter is community. And so what we've really decided to do is have the Hunter maximize a lot of the usable space. We've got dead-end great rooms. Keith, can you break down what does that even mean? Like, people hear us talking about that. What's a dead-end great room? You're like, that doesn't sound like a good thing.
Ultimately, I think the goal with a dead-end great room is that everyone can gather there. And the way that you solve for that variable is you put it on an end of the house where it doesn't become a hallway. Like, if you think about like old designs, old home designs, and you think about all the spaces that kind of adjoin the great room, and then the great room just becomes this like glorified hallway where you've literally got to walk through the great room to get to the kitchen, to get to the bedrooms, to get everywhere. What we try to do is put it on an end. We put it in its own space so that we can maximize the space, so that we can put more furniture in the space, so that we can put more people in the space, so that you can have all your family there. That's like that's the goal. It's the purpose of putting it on a dead end.
Right. So that's a great explanation, and it really is key. And if you look at the floor plan of the Hunter and you see where the great room is, what you're going to see is that there's no way to get to another room.
No, yeah, there's no adjoining room, adjacent room right off of the great room on purpose.
On purpose. There you go. All that space is there for you to sit there with the people you want to be there with, and that's why we think that creates community. The other thing we really do is just we really focus on incredible kitchens, and that's just another giant factor. Is the kitchen, we say, is the heart of the home. You've probably heard that if you've listened to our podcast some, and we really believe that. And everyone we talk to who's thinking about building or in any kind of real estate, it's like, if you entertain, people hang out in your kitchen.
Yeah, they just do. That's where they hang out.
Right. Even if you're not serving them food,
mm-hmm.
they just, that's it. Man, kitchens are where life happens. It's where all the good conversations go down, all the hard conversations. It's all going down in your kitchen. You have people over for dinner, they're standing in your kitchen, they're in the way, it drives you nuts. You have people who aren't over for dinner, they stand in your kitchen, and then you're thinking, do these people think I'm going to feed them? Like, this was not meal service. You're just here. I might give you a water.
Yep.
But just one of those little ones. I'm not even giving you the full 16.8 ounce bottle.
No, just the little 8 ounce.
The little, whatever they call. What are they? Just a mini?
The minis. The mini water bottle.
That's all you get.
That's what you get.
Get out of my kitchen. What are you doing?
Take your water bottle with you.
I don't want them to open my fridge because, man, that tells you a lot about character.
Oh, you have hot sauce? Oh, great. I'm going to take some of this. And then you're like, oh, dang it.
Dang it. Or like, wow, when did you cook that?
Oh, you got cut waters? Awesome. I'm going to take one of these.
Right?
Yeah, I'm saving those for later.
Gosh. Anyway. So, what you find is that we focus on a kitchen that is large enough so that it is the heart of the home and it's able to be super effective in that. Because regardless in your new house, like if you're going to build a kitchen, people are going to hang out in your kitchen. And the question is have you created an adequate space for community in your kitchen, or have you created an inadequate space? And so our vote is make an adequate space, especially in a house like the Hunter that's 2,800 square feet. So it's got a giant kitchen with an island that's attached to it. It's right next to the dining area. It's very convenient. And on the other side of that dining area is that dead end great room. And so it is a perfect space for you to take everybody that matters to you and put them in one main living space. So
yep,
it's really wonderful. So, and our last C there is comfort. And we think this is important. And here's what we say when we mean comfort. You want a house that is going to allow, if a house is going to improve your quality of life, one of the things that I think is going to be key is going to be rest.
Yeah.
And so you have to take that idea of, I want a house to be a restful, peaceful place for me to rest. And I'm going to do that primarily in a bedroom. But I also have to keep all of these other design principles in tension, meaning, I'm quite certain that people in my family that are a generation below me stay up later than I do.
Yeah.
And I know this because I get texts from my daughter on occasion at, like 10:45 at night. And I'm kind of looking at that text at 5:15 the next morning going, did she really think that she, and I don't think she does, but I was like, do you really think you're going to get an answer out of me at 10:45 at night? Like, you're not, because I'm asleep. I'm dead asleep. I've been asleep for a while by 10:45 at night, or something's wrong. And I'm at the age where, of course, you have to get up and go to the bathroom 19 times at night. But I'm not at the age where I'm going to check my phone while doing that.
Yeah.
So I have that curse and blessing that I guess as the millennials get older, they're going to get up 19 times to go to the bathroom, and they're going to check their phone.
Oh, it's the worst.
That sounds very stressful. But I don't think to do that, because I spent too many years without a cell phone, or with a cell phone that you turned off at night. I went through a lot of phases before I got like surgically attached to this dumb thing in my pocket.
Yeah.
But so we could talk about privacy in the primary bedroom. And so there are some very consistent design principles that we do with that. And that is to make sure that the primary bedroom is not directly attached to the main living space, right? So there's going to have to be a hallway. So, we just went through, Keith was kind of knocking hallways that are hidden in your great room.
Right. That's a spot where you don't necessarily want them.
Right. But there is a spot where you do want them, and that's the spot that leads away from the area that is public to a space that is private.
Yeah.
And so there is a couple other design features that we do. And maybe you can just sort of talk about some things that go with the walls and the doors and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, for features in order to increase comfortability and therefore increase privacy, privacy and then therefore increase comfortability, is we do a solid core door on every bedroom number one, right. the most important one. We put a solid core door to just help with the sound, and then we also do insulation buffer all the way around it, encapsulate the whole space, including the bathroom, closets, wherever there's adjacent walls to other spaces in the house. And that's just to maximize the privacy. And just, everything is all about comfort. It's all about comfort. If you don't live in a comfortable house, then, why do it? Why build a house that's not going to be comfortable?
Right. Well, especially build one. Like, it's one thing if you go out and you decide to buy an existing house, because there are going to be a lot of reasons. It could be the neighborhood you want, it'd be the school district you want, it could be whatever, and you buy this house.
If you're going to build one, though.
But if you're going to build one
really
from scratch,
say.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, how awful would it be to build a brand new house with an obsolete floor plan?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing worse than being in your bedroom and just hearing everything else that goes on outside of the bedroom when you're trying to enjoy the comfort of your bedroom. So that's why we put it, we get it nice and private. We insulate it. We put the solid core door on there and just try and get rid of all the sound, the additional sound from the house.
Right, because we want that room to be a place of privacy and a place of rest. We want what's going on in the main living area to not float into your primary bedroom, and that allows you to rest. And there's a lot of science that talks about being able to rest, being able to unplug, letting your body heal itself, and getting good rest as it improves your quality of life. And so we've really thought about that. And we've incorporated that into all of our plans. And the Hunter's one of our larger plans. And so the primary suite is bigger and more private than some. And so one of the things that you can do if you're interested in the Hunter is build and price it online. But really quickly, it understands that it does have a main level or first floor primary bedroom, as all Aurora Homes plans do. There's a second level that has an ensuite bedroom and a separate loft. And we find this is really a key thing for a lot of folks. And again, whether you're thinking about guests or you're thinking about other people that live with you, if you have kids or whatnot, is you really want two spaces where people can gather. Kind of like the adult space sometimes and the kid space. And if you have teenage kids, you know darn well they want a different space. They don't want to be around. But even if your kids are a little younger, they're going to want to watch something on TV that maybe you don't want to listen to on TV. I always joke that when my kids were little, they watched SpongeBob, like hours in the winter. We lived at the beach in the winter. There's nothing to do. It's like a dreary Sunday afternoon. It's 42 degrees. It's cloudy. And you're like, oh, there's nothing to do. And so my sons are watching SpongeBob. And every time I hear the theme to SpongeBob, like I get anxious. I get triggered, maybe a little angry. And I'm like, oh, I can't deal with that noise. Make it stop. And I actually, yeah, that's it. That's it. You remember. You've seen a few. Have you ever heard of SpongeBob, Keith?
Oh man, I've seen so many. I mean, there's a lot. SpongeBob. I used to have a Game Boy Color game. SpongeBob. I had there's the Battle of Bikini Bottom GameCube game that was really good.
The Battle of Bikini Bottom.
So good, dude. It's a really good game.
That's
right.
It's
great.
Find that on eBay.
Yeah, it's not cheap actually,
I
especially when it's sealed up.
I mean, Bikini Bottom is worth the fight.
For
those of you that don't know, that's what they call where SpongeBob lives.
I love SpongeBob.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, so the point is sometimes you want two spaces. And so the Hunter gives you that in its standard form. It's going to give you the great room that we've talked about, but it's going to give you an upstairs loft. There are options that allow the Hunter to expand to like 7 bedrooms if you really want to blow it out. A lot of other specialty spaces. But one of the other things that you get on the main floor, so we already talked about the primary bedroom, which is spacious, the large open space, the second ensuite, but you're also going to get an office, and that's all on the main floor, as well as lots of storage, a huge pantry, a powder room for your guests as well. And so all of that is included in the plan. And one of the things that you can do on the Aurora Homes website is you can go there, you can price out a Hunter, you can add the structural options, and you can actually see the numbers, what it costs. You can look at the different elevations, you can change the siding colors on the elevations, and then you can go ahead and you can take all of this stuff. You can create basically your own printout. You can do like a build sheet of the plan that you want.
Yeah, make a little brochure. It's special for you.
Right. And it's yours and it's custom, and you can, look at all the different versions of the Hunter that you can create and figure out, how that's going to work in your budget and all that. But it is a great new floor plan. It has some really neat elevations. And so far, we barely started marketing. We're getting ready to break ground on the second one. And so we think it's going to be popular.
Yeah. This first one's going well. It's a beautiful home.
It's absolutely lovely.
And if you want to walk through it, hit us up.
And even if you're listening to this podcast 5 years later, we'll probably still sell you one.
Yeah.
It'll probably not be the version 1.0 that exists now, because we will have tweaked it 3 times.
Yeah, definitely. Naturally. That's what we do.
That's how we roll. So this is the So You Want to Build a House podcast. I'm Scott Daly.
I'm Keith Strom.
Have a great day.